Okay, first off, our players and our coaches are really looking forward to playing at home. It's been a while since we've been here, so we're excited about that. Playing a very good Ole Miss team. You can tell they're playing very good football with the game they played last Saturday. I thought they played good in all three phases and beat a very good Texas A&M team soundly. Defensively, they're very disruptive. They're very talented up front. They do a lot of different things. And they play an attacking style. They're also very good on the back end with their coverage skills, and they got some veteran guys back there. Offensively, they've got wideouts that are long and fast. They're tough in one-on-one situations. They're getting their offensive line back intact, and you could see that last week, with their run game. And they got a dual threat quarterback, so they present a lot of challenges. We understand we'll have to play well to win this game. On another note, Carl Lawson will practice for the first time today, which should give our guys a lift. We'll see where he's at. I'm not going to say right now that he's going to play this Saturday, but the fact that he is out there practicing, I think will be good from a leadership standpoint, if nothing else.
Have you ever been able to have a player come back from an injury first week in practice and play that very next weekend?
I think there has been some times. It just depends on how long they're out. Everything's different as far as that's concerned.
Gus, as far as him being able to play against Ole Miss, is it a fitness issue or is it just the hip issue, or what will be?
Well, I think it's overall. I mean, he's been doing some things with the trainers and all that, to try to get himself in shape and everything that goes with that. But there's nothing like getting out there and actually practicing. So that's why I kind of said I'm hesitant to say that right now he'll play this Saturday, but it is a good note that he's on the practice field.
Will he do everything practice-wise?
Yes.
Talk about Carl. Is he excited about this? Really?
Yes. Yeah. He definitely is. He's a competitor. It's been tough on him, and he's went through a lot. You think back at last year having to set out, that was tough on him, and then coming back and get injured, and he's went through a lot, but. He's a kid of character, and he's a tough kid, and so he's excited to be back out there for his team.
Coach, what kind of an impact has Carl had on his teammates, just as far as encouragement when he's on the sidelines making trips?
Well, he's one of our leaders. He's one of our, not just our defensive leader, but he's one of our team leaders, and his teammates have a lot of respect for him, and as well as coaches do, and we took him on our last 2 road games because of that, and it's definitely helped us.
Gus, how do you mentioned last year at Texas A&M. How do you make sure that doesn't happen again?
Well, I mean, the fact that we had a similar situation last year, and it did affect us. There was some carryover, and I think you can learn from things, and that's what we're going to do. And it starts with our leaders, it starts with our coaches, and we got to put that behind us. And you can flip the film on, and Ole Miss will get your attention in all 3 phases, and so that'll definitely help.
Why do you think these last 2 games between you and Coach Freeze have been so close?
That's a good question. I mean, he's a great coach. He's got great players and does a good job.
This is obviously a pretty emotional game for Laquan Treadwell. What are you expecting out of him, and what do you think of just him?
Well, he's one of the better players in the entire country, and he's a force. There's no doubt, and we got to have our attention on him. And he's a great player.
What did you say to him after the injury? Did you reach out to him?
Yeah, I reached out to Coach Freeze and just let him know that our thoughts and prayers were with him. And he's a class young man and a great person, and he's a great player.
What are you seeing for the team this week coming off Saturday's loss? Have they been eager to get back out there?
I think so. I mean, obviously they're disappointed. When we came back, we watched the film, and after we watched the film, we put it in our rearview mirror. That's behind us. I mean, that's nothing we can do about it now. We got to move forward and look forward. And those kids have responded, and they're ready to hit the practice field. And I know our coaches are too, and that's part of it. And like I said, we got to get better, and we're committed to doing that. And playing a very good opponent this week too, just to see where we're at.
Guess how do you help, or do you try to help players tune out the noise around them when things go like they're going now?
Yeah, well, it's all about you know, the relationships with the players and the coaches and how close a group is and how committed they are to getting better. And this group is a very close group, and they're going to continue to fight. They're going to continue to get better, and our coaches are in it with them. And so that's where we're at, and we will continue to get better. And I felt like we did in most phases last week, even though we got beat. You know, at the very end, there was some real positives that we can take from that game that we can use the rest of the season.
Coach, you referenced putting the Arkansas game in the rearview mirror. As a coaching staff, what steps do you guys take to help the players do that?
Well, you communicate, and it's about relationships. It's about being honest with them and just making sure they know that we're in it with them.
How has Sean kind of evolved? He's done a touchdown pass, so how has he improved the last few games?
Well, I mean, I think you can see it just the way he's managing the game, and you know, it's been what, 3 games since we've had a turnover. So I mean, he's protecting the football. He's doing a good job with running our offense. You can see that, you know, he understands the progressions in the passing game, and he's just getting more and more comfortable, you know, every time out.
What was his demeanor when you have some guys dropping balls?
You know, he's a tough kid. As a matter of fact, he was an encourager. That's what he was. And hey, I'm going to get it back to you, and that's part of playing quarterback too. You know, the things that you know, how you deal with your teammates and all that. And you know, I think he's got that pretty good handle on that too.
Coach, you mentioned team leaders and things of that nature. When it's kind of swinging the balance, the week of preparation leading up to that next game, how do you know if your leaders are doing what they're supposed to do, or what do you want to see from them as the week?
Yeah, well, you know right off the bat the way they approach their meetings and their attitude and everything that goes with that, and then you get out on the practice field, and that's part of being a leader. You know, whether things are good or not good or whatever, a part of a leader is being consistent. And we got some good leaders on this team, and there's no doubt in my mind that our guys will go out there and we'll have a good practice today.
Yes, you've mentioned before that some guys are kind of hard on themselves, and that's the competitor in them. And Ricardo seemed to be one of those guys after the game that seemed to be that way, that he was really being hard on himself with the drops and everything. How do you kind of talk to him about how he will react? Yeah,
I mean, you know, he's extremely tough on himself. You know, he was down, but hey, that's over with. Now we got to move on. He's going to get plenty of chances the rest of the year, and you know, he's one of our impact players, and he's going to make a lot of plays for us the rest of the year.
Is Sean not having a touchdown at this point, is that concerning at all? I mean, the running finish off those drives, and have been successful drives, but is the no touchdowns a concern at all?
No, not really. We had some opportunities, but you know, the bottom line for me is the last 2 games, you know, we've scored points, we've gotten some rhythm, we've moved the football. Starting to improve, and I think you can, you know, definitely see that, and so those will come, and you know, he's in pretty good control of the offense right now.
You've mentioned that last year the Texas A&M game was one that really kind of turned everything, and last night you mentioned it again. What's different about this Arkansas loss and the energy you guys had exerted in that type of game to come back?
Well, the reason I said that is, you know, you can draw from experiences in the past, and that was really the closest thing, you know, to feeling kind of the same way as far as that. And so we got to do a better job of recovering from that game. That's the reason I said that, and our coaches are aware of that. Our players were very upfront with them, and you know, that's going to be the key to this week. And you know, I feel good about where we're at from a player standpoint and a coach's standpoint as far as that's concerned.
What do you have to do differently as a head coach? What would you do differently?
What would I do differently? Well, it's going to be this week. You know, the way that I approach it, I got to do a better job with our coaches and our players than we did last week. I mean, last year, because you can see we didn't play our best.
Coach, look at
the game video. How did Cameron Petway play? Jason Smith?
Well, Jason Smith made a couple plays, big plays, and so that was encouraging too. And Petway, you know, he caught his first ball, and you know, he ran over 2 people and got the first down. And he's a guy that, you know, his role in that area could expand more. And you know, he's still a freshman and he's learning, but he did a good job.
What does this game mean to Austin Golson going up against his former team?
Yeah, it probably means a lot.
So does it surprise at all with the process there with Austin Gus that he wasn't released from scholarship initially?
Nah, I'm not getting at all that. He plays for us right now.
When you go back and look at the game on Saturday, 21 of the first 23 first downs, you guys ran the ball until you got to the 2-minute offense late. Is that something you're gonna take a look at?
Yeah, you know, I think you take a look at all your tendencies, you know, and you know, you always try to use your tendencies against people. And, you know, there are certain times that, you know, if you're effectively doing it, you know, that you keep doing it. And if you're not, you change things up. So, but yeah, we're definitely aware of that.
Coach, what's the biggest concern when you look at Ole Miss's defense?
They're very talented. That's probably the biggest concern is they're very talented. And, you know, Dave Womack does a very good job with them. They're good at what they do. They're very disruptive, a lot of movement. They give you a lot of different looks, but their talent level is definitely impressive.
Anything else? What are you expecting out of Gray King with Stanton Truitt still being banged up?
Yeah, I mean, Gray filled in, did a very good job. And, you know, Gray's been with us a while. He's done well in practice and helped us on special teams. And so it was good to see him get 2 big catches the other day.
What was his reaction after that, finally getting some playing?
I think he was happy to be out there.
Gus, how do you explain just on paper the defense has kind of regressed statistically, even from last year in a lot of areas? Just how do you account for that?
Well, I mean, I think where we're at, we got to get better. And I think Carl Lawson, you know, the addition being back here in the near future, I think you'll see a vast improvement.
Do you expect Brock Thomas to play?
I do.
All right, Coach.